We are here tonight to discuss kindergarten on the horizon, understanding the choices. It's hard to believe that we are almost halfway through the school year. And before you know it, it will be time to buy new backpacks. On our agenda this evening is an introduction of school choice, the magnet programs afforded to parents, what is a special transfer option, school-based applications, so current DCPS VPK students, what you need to know, the application window, which is something we really want you to take away with you tonight. If you have pencil and paper, or if you're taking notes in your phone, that would be a great thing to do. Duval Virtual Instructional Academy, which is our virtual school, our DCPS virtual school, the application process, and any questions you may have. Again, feel free to ask your questions in the chat. We do ask if you have specific questions about your students that we discuss that offline, or you are more than welcome to email me and I can address your questions one-on-one. We just like to preserve the rights of our students. So any personal questions you have, you can email me at lacella-mj@duvalschools.org. So let's get started with your choices. So most families, the choice they make is to attend their zoned attendance area school. And that is a fabulous choice for most of our families. If you don't know what that is, we do have a resource on our website that you can use. It's called School Locator. And it's in that blue band across the bottom. You'll see an image first, and then you'll see a blue band with the school locator. Just be advised that just because a school is close to you does not necessarily mean that that is the school zone for your address. And all addresses in Duval County do have a school that is zoned for them. Then again, we do have our magnet schools. Our magnet schools are theme-based, and there is a priority attached to them. So once a family is in a magnet school, their child would have a priority going from elementary to middle school, and then from middle to high school based on the school that they choose. We have two types of magnet schools. Our first one is a dedicated magnet school, and that means that all of the students who attend that school are there because they have selected that school. That school does not have a neighborhood. So most common to most people are Stanton and Paxson in our high schools. Stanton, Paxson, Wolfson, Darnell Cookman, and Andrew Jackson, APR, and Frank H. Those are all high schools that do not have a neighborhood. However, if you live in a neighborhood that once had a neighborhood school and now it is a dedicated magnet school, there is a priority attached to that. So we have dedicated magnet schools, and they do most have district-wide transportation. We also have whole school magnets. So a whole school magnet is a magnet school that has a theme and it has a neighborhood population. Every child at the school receives the magnet education, whether it be through resource class, or through the instruction in the core that integrates the theme. So everyone receives the magnet theme as part of their education. However, only the magnet students receive the program continuity. So one example of a school like this would be John Stockton. So that's one of our elementary schools. That's a whole school magnet school, along with Fishweir Elementary School. So those schools have magnet students there, and they also have neighborhood students. If you are a neighborhood student zoned for a magnet school, and you would like for your child to receive that magnet status, you do need to apply for that magnet status during the open window, the on-time application window. Lots of words being used. Again, feel free to post any questions if you have, and we'll be happy to address them. Last but not least is our special transfer option schools. Those are our traditional neighborhood schools that may have extra capacity. They may have extra seats that are not being filled by their neighborhood students. And so those seats are offered to our families through the lottery process. Now, the main difference is that with our magnet schools, with our special transfer option schools, there is no transportation. Transportation is the responsibility of the parent. And so we find a lot parents are using this as a resource if they want to have their child closer to their place of business, or if they would like to have their child closer to a relative who may be home during the day. So things like that come into play, and parents have different reasons for making these choices. I would like to circle back. So our whole school magnet schools, they also receive transportation, but those students receive transportation in zones. And so in our school choice reference guide, which is online, you can learn more information about zones. And once again, if you have questions or need clarification, we are here to help now and in the coming months. So, magnet programs. I apologize. I have covered most of this. So, we defined magnet schools. There are priorities. As I mentioned, there are former attendance area priorities. There are also sibling priorities. So, if you have an older child at a magnet school, you do need to apply during the on-time application window in order for that younger child to have the sibling priority. So for example, if you have a child currently in the 4th grade at a magnet school and you want your rising kindergartner to be considered for placement, you do need to apply on time for that sibling priority. In addition to, both children need to have the same address in focus. That is how we know children are siblings residing at the same address. Your current zone school, if you're at a magnet school, can update the address of the child who is currently enrolled in the school and can provide you with the information of what focus currently says. So families can apply for up to 2 magnet choices, with the understanding that you're going to rate the schools 1 and 2. However, we really try to impress upon parents that both schools be your favorite school. Because although you prioritize them, if for some reason your child is not placed in the first school due to limited seat availability, then that first application will be canceled if your child receives a seat in the second school. So we really try to impress upon parents, if you know that there's only one school that you want your child to go to, one magnet school, then make that your only choice, because there is the possibility that your child will not get your first choice and would get placed at the second choice, and then your child would not get waitlisted at that first choice. So it's really important for families to take into consideration how the lottery works and what is best for your family. So fourthly, transportation. Yes, so there is a list of magnet school bus locations. We do have a list of where we have a resource that will tell you where what schools have transportation, but not bus stops. If you're looking for bus stop information, that is going to be through our transportation office. That information is not available online. You would have to reach out to our transportation department to ask them where the closest bus stop is this year for your current residential address. Erin, go ahead and comment in the chat if I did not efficiently respond to your question, if that was not what you were asking. And we will provide that transportation contact information in just a second. It's later on in the presentation. So that's for magnet schools. And so there are some exceptions to the rule. There are always exceptions. So we have a dual language program in our elementary schools, and they are housed at Beauclair, San Jose, and West Riverside, I believe. And so those programs are application only, and those applications are available at the school. And that is because For those programs, they need to have an equal number of native speakers and non-native speakers in those programs. And so although it is by lottery, we need to have the record of the native language of each speaker, and that is best acquired through a paper application. So if you're interested in Beau Claire, San Jose, or West Riverside, then you will need to complete an application at the school. In addition to, you can also complete the application online if there is a second choice that you would like to make. So special transfer option schools. As was mentioned before, these schools are our traditional neighborhood schools that do not have a magnet program, and transportation is the responsibility of the parent. For our special transfer option schools, there is only one choice that a parent can make. So I'm going to talk a minute about how the lotteries work. So there is one application window for both types of schools. Special transfer option, you can only make one choice. The priorities for admission, there are a little fewer. So if you are a military family new to Duval County, you may have the necessary documentation to give you a military priority for your student. We do have in our office a support technician and a director of federal programming who works with our military families to determine whether or not their placement, their current status, how long they've been in Jacksonville, is qualifies them for a priority in either lottery. There is the sibling priority as well in the special transfer option lottery. There is not a tour priority. There is a tour priority for our magnet schools. The last school-based type of application we have is our Duval Virtual Instructional Academy. It is 100% online, and they have their own school website. So if you would like to learn more about how that school is structured, you may do it there. You do apply with the school. The application is online through Focus, but it will be outside of the normal application window. So if this is something that you're interested in, I would encourage you to monitor the website for DVIA and look for their application window. So current Duval County Public School VPK students. So on the slide is an exhaustive list of all of the VPK programs, all of our schools that host VPK programs here in Duval County. If your child attends any one of these schools and it is not your neighborhood school, then your child will not be projected to that school for kindergarten. So children will only be projected to the school that is zoned for their residential address. The VPK program exists separately from the magnet lottery and from our STO lottery. Those VPK assignments are only for the 1 year. And so if you are in love with your VPK program and you want your child to stay there for kindergarten through 5th grade, then you will need to apply during the on-time lottery because that is when the most number of seats are available to our families. So again, just to make sure we're all understanding, if your child, the VPK assignments are only for 1 year. And so this is something that we really need to reiterate to parents that we encourage parents to apply on time for kindergarten because those assignments do not roll. And of course, placement is not guaranteed. Placement isn't guaranteed in any of our lotteries because of the number of seats that we have available versus the number of children that we have applying for those seats. The application window opens January 1st and closes February 28th. It will close promptly at 11:59 p.m. We do encourage families to apply early, although it is a lottery and the lottery does not know when you submit your application. But as soon as you feel comfortable with the choices that you want to make, we do encourage families to do that sooner rather than later, just so it's done and then you don't have to worry about it or stress about the timeline. So that is the first. So I don't know if someone will be up at 12:01 to push the button, but it will open. Let's see. It will, yes, it will open at 12 o'clock. That's the information that I've received from our office. So yes, so if you are up at 12:01 and know that you want to make that choice, then you may go ahead and move forward with that. Let's see. So assistance. So there were some questions about the where you get more answers. So you can reach out to our school choice, our bulk email, which we all monitor daily. I did provide my email, and I will go ahead and provide it again in the chat. Feel free to reach out to myself, and we will answer your questions in a timely manner. If for some reason you want to come into our office, we are more than happy to see parents face to face. That can be done on our enrollment screen. So duvalschools.org/enrollment. You can make an appointment online just like you do with the DMV, and we will be waiting there for you. Right now, there is a lot of availability. So we'll talk about the process in a second, and you may find yourself in need of assistance. So technology, everything is done on the computer with the exception of the schools that I mentioned before, the paper applications, and sometimes parents do run into technical issues. We can walk you through the process. However, our office cannot reset a password. And so if you have a Focus account for an older child and for some reason you do not have the password, our technology department at 348-5200 will be happy to help you. And then, as we mentioned before, for bus routes, you can most definitely reach out to our transportation department and discuss what things look like this year. So the application process. So this is a multi-tiered process, and it involves both a parent account and a child account. So if your child is not currently in a VPK program, and if your child is not currently receiving services from Duval County, whether it be audiology, speech, another early childhood program that we may have, then your child will need to establish a student ID, and that will be called, that's step 2. So that is registering your new child for Duval County Public Schools. Now, the good news is that even if you want to stay at your neighborhood school, you still need to register your child. So this is something that all families will need to do prior to the first day of school. If you do it now, then it will be taken care of for the next school year, and you won't even have to give it a moment's thought at any point over the summer. It'll just be taken care of when when Focus rolls over to the new school year, January 1st. Your zoned attendance area will see your child and send you a postcard telling you what kindergarten teacher has been assigned to your child. So the first step is to register your student. It's a very simple form you fill out, and it's user friendly. After you create your student's number, and it will be sent to you via email, you need to create a parent account. And so your parent account gives you all the bells and whistles, and it provides you with access to your child's grades, their schedule, bus stop information. At this point in Duval County, we do pretty much everything through your parent Focus account. So if you get into a magnet school, or if you're just zoned for your neighborhood school and you want to put your child on a bus, then you need to request that bus through Focus. So it's really a one-stop shop. Teachers communicate with you through that. We receive emails from teachers, and you can email teachers back. You can see grading assignments. It's a plethora of information for all families. And so we do encourage all families to get a parent Focus account. Now, a question we often get is, yes, 2, 3, 4 parents can all have Focus accounts. They're individual accounts that are all linked to the same student. And it also works the other way. If you currently have a parent Focus account, you may link all of your children to that one account. There's no need to go out and get new parent accounts. Your parent account can be the hub for all of your children's accounts. Um, so that, and as was stated earlier, this will all be on the video, and so you can look at those steps in the video, or they are all exactly online. It's all verbatim from what is available to parents online at school choice, duvalschools.org /enroll. Now, I do want to note that we encourage parents to do it early because it is a multi-step process. It will take about 72 hours from the time you start to the time the computer processes your request to get the two accounts linked, because there is a holding period. So when you create a parent account, you need to verify that. The system needs 24 hours to update, and then you can link the student to the parent account. So we do like to tell parents to give yourself 72 hours to complete the process, which is another reason we like for parents to do it prior to January 1st, so that there are no hiccups once we get into the school choice window, because we do see a drastic increase in parent inquiries come January 1st. If you know that this may be something that your family is considering moving forward, we would encourage you to complete the process early, just the creation of the student account and linking to the parent account. And please, please, please tell all of your friends who have children in the same age group that it's better just to do it now and have it in case you need to use it. So speaking of which, we will have additional sessions in the month of January and February, where we will recap this for parents. I do congratulate you on being here in the month of November, 2 months before the application window opens, receiving this information. So we are very thankful that you took the time tonight to join us and to ask any questions. So speaking of which, questions. Are there questions that we have not been able to respond to in the chat? And you can go ahead and unmute yourself if you are not, if you are okay with doing that. You can unmute yourself and ask any questions that you have, with the understanding that if you have a personal question about your child, let me put my email address here again. We are happy to answer family specific questions, but right now we're just responding to general questions about the process. But you can definitely email me any specific questions you have, and I'll be happy to call you tomorrow. The biggest piece of news is that we are doing a face-to-face opportunity with our families in January. So on January 7th, which is a Saturday, our schools, every school, every DCPS school will be open to our families for school tours. And so our families will, if you're looking at magnet schools, you will be able to receive a tour priority for attending a tour on that day. So usually parents need to take off time during the week to attend school tours. This will give our parents an opportunity to reach out and touch the school, to visit it, to know exactly where it is, because as most of you know, Jacksonville is a fairly large city. And so we do ask that parents consider the distance between your home and the school when making a choice. And this will provide all of our families with an opportunity to go to the school that they are considering. Those tours will be at 9, 10:30, noon, and 1:30, I believe. And someone will correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I got it right. We'll post an announcement on our school choice website. I'll have the information from you all with regards to your contact information through Parent Academy. They are fabulous partners for us, and they will also be promoting the event. That is January 7th. Thank you for your time. And if you know of anybody who is in need of this information, please share it with them. We are here to help. We are here to make the process easier for parents. And this is a great time to start to look at your choices. So again, we thank you so much for your time and have a great evening.